What's good, everybody? It's your boy, Mr. CDK Boxing. Let's talk boxing, man. It's been a long time. But, man, Mr. Greg Hackett's finna be back. And I can't wait, man. I love talking to Greg Hackett, man. He to me, one of the best boxing, whatever you want to call him, out there, trainers with plenty of knowledge. So I'm definitely ready to talk to Mr. Greg Hackett. Y'all give me 1 second. What's good, BBO? Glad to see my brother. BVO Boxing, man. Y'all go over his channel, man. Like, subscribe, and comment to his channel. He a little crazy, but that's my brother. I figured you'd say that. I gave it back, man. I gave your mother's car back. I just hit it. It should be popping up. Let me know if you see it, Greg. Man, you know dang well Devin ain't going to sleep. It's easy work for Devin Haney. I don't know why BVO love losing his money, but for some reason he believes Devin Haney has a chance. I mean, not Devin Haney, but Ryan Garcia has a chance. He don't. I just accepted it. Let me know if it bring you in. I don't know what it's doing, but I just accepted it again, Greg. You acting funny. I'm gonna send you one, Greg. Look for it right quick. Okay, I just sent you an invite. Say you was unable to go live. I just sent another one. I just accepted yours. I don't know what it's doing. All right, there we go.
You can hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, bro. How you
I'm
doing?
chilling. What's going on?
You chilling, man. I'm blessed. It's been a long time, man.
Yeah, for
You
sure.
done, you done had a whole lot going on, man. Somebody try to pull you into some Twitter beef and everything. I'm always watching you, man.
Yeah, I ain't worried about that shit.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I was gonna tell you when I got an opportunity, man. You know what? They always gonna hate. They always got something to say. You can't even let it worry you.
Yeah, for sure. How you feeling though?
Man, I'm doing good, man. I'm blessed, man. I'm highly favored. I'm alive. God got me. That's all I can ask for.
Yes, sir.
Man, every day is a blessing. Every day I'm above ground is a blessing. Man, I'm gonna get right into it. What do you think about the Richardson Hitchens fight last night? How did you look at that? How did you score it?
I mean, to be honest, I thought he lost. I thought it was
I did.
I thought it was 7-5. I gave it to Lemos. I felt like he was outworking Richard Hitchison. Richardson Hitchens.
Yeah.
I felt like he was outworking him. I felt like he hit him with the bigger shots. He pressured him the whole fight. He
Yep.
fought the fight. The reason I really thought he won too, he fought the fight at his pace. You know what I mean? Africa really couldn't, he really couldn't control him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He couldn't keep him in his place. He hit him with some good shots. He might have stunned him a little bit here and there, but dude was on his ass and he landed the biggest shots. You know what I mean? He was going to the body and the head. He was pressuring him all night. You know what I mean? Had him hurt. He had him hurt a few times. It was,
Man.
you know, it was. I don't know. I don't know what they was looking at. That 117, 111 is crazy.
Oh, that was disrespectful. Like somebody else just said, that was real disrespectful. That score, and these judges got to start being held accountable. To me, it just don't make no sense. It's like they getting away. They playing with people's lives. You know, that's what they're doing. And
Yep.
you know, when you're the bigger name, you know, I hate to say it, you're the bigger name, and people got money behind you, and they're backing you to be something. You know, this is what happens, and it continues to happen in boxing.
Yeah, it's like they really basing it that lets you know they really basing the game off popularity. Nobody knew the guy, so he was supposed to just come here and lose. The whole time he's a dangerous fighter. He's a really good fighter. He just didn't have the opportunity to fight in America, to fight on TV, stuff like that. So we get him over here. You know what I mean? He train hard, he make weight, he do everything he's supposed to do. He get in there and fight his ass off, and then y'all take it from him. Like it's just fucked up.
Yeah, and you know what's gonna be the crazy part? Now nobody's gonna want to fight this guy. You know,
Yeah.
and that's how I look at it. He had an opportunity, but now, he's gonna be everybody's gonna be ducking him. You know how it go. Nobody's gonna want to fight him. And I feel like, do you feel like a lot of the, coming up, and man, I'm a little older than you, but people didn't back in the day. The spawn stayed, and spawn was spawn. Nobody talked about it with no videos out. But it seems like to me now, like a lot of these guys are making a name off spawn, but they're not able to carry it into the ring. And that's where I feel like Richard Hitchens, whatever how you say his name, Hitchison was not able to, translate that to the ring. I've always been kind of skeptical of him. But do you think the Spawn is kind of like giving these guys a name and they're really not able to do it on the big stage?
Well, I mean, to be fair, he made his name in the amateurs.
Okay.
You know what I mean? He was almost an American Olympian. He fell short in the trials, and then he represented Haiti in the Olympics. But I think the sparring gives false confidence for sure, because to be honest, they're not sparring guys that they're not sparring guys who fight the way that the guys they fighting. You know what I'm saying? If you fighting the dog who just gonna come straight forward, he gonna mix combinations, he gonna throw his power shots. You should be sparring guys like that. You know what I
Right.
mean? But these guys, they move around and they try to be buddies with other fighters just to get sparring and shit like that. They get the sparring, but it don't match the fight. So that's why when you see a guy get in a fight like that and they look uncomfortable, is because they wasn't preparing for a fight like that. He was in great shape. He was in great shape, but he wasn't mentally prepared for a fight like that. You know what I mean?
Definitely. Yeah, definitely. You definitely right. And that's why, I've been paying attention to, with the Frank Martin and Javante Tank Davis fight coming up, with Frank saying, he hurt Tank and Spawn and different stuff. I just hate that fighters are starting to try to base these fights off of Spawn.
Yeah,
And I believe it gives them a sense of confidence, what I'm saying, that really shouldn't be there instead of really focusing on, what I'm saying, the task at hand.
yeah.
How do you see that fight playing out?
Frank Martin, I feel like with him, I'm like up and down on how I feel, because I know he's a great fighter. I know he is. But the moment could be a little bit too big for him. You know what I'm
Right,
saying? And he could go in there and he could do the right shit, but then he can get excited and get hurt and get knocked out. Or he could go in there, try to be too defensive and lose on the cards. He
right,
could go in
right.
there. It's almost like a setup. You know what I mean? I'm saying a setup because it's like, yeah, you can beat him because he's a man, but the moment and everything behind it may be too much for you and you can't control yourself. And you're going, like I said, you either going to go in there and underachieve, or you're going to try to do too much and get hurt. You know what I mean? I think Frank Martin is a really good fighter. I like Frank
Right.
Martin. You know what I'm saying? I like him a lot, but I just think he should have took a fight like this, maybe two more fights down the line. You know what I mean? Jumping in there right now with Tank Davis, and Tank Davis got a wave and he got a name and he got the punching power, he got the speed, the boxing ability. I mean, it's a dangerous fight. I think it's going to be a
Right,
good fight starting off, but I think after 6 rounds, we'll start to see the separation.
right, definitely. But do you think there's a possibility he could be catching Tank at the right time because Tank has been out of the ring for a little while now? So you think Frank could be looking at that?
He could. I mean, he could, and there's nothing wrong with that. But let's talk about why they looking at him. You know what I mean? Why did they pick Frank Martin? They picked Frank Martin because they realized Frank Martin, yeah, he gonna get in there and fight, but he gonna think a little, he gonna overthink a little bit too. So what that does is the times where he may have Tank in trouble, he gonna think about it.
Right,
Or the times where he might have a good shot, he gonna think about it. He gonna stop and think about it. This game is really psychological. The psyche goes into it real deep. You know what I'm saying? About how these fights break down, and they really watch for your tendencies and things like that. And they know that they know that Frank Martin, he got a little bit of a problem getting off when he start thinking. So you know what I mean? That's why they picked him.
right, definitely. I can see that. And I feel like Frank Martin really kind of changed his style up when he got with, Derrick James. I can start to see, Frank Martin's style has changed. And it seems like to me he's got more flat footed. He doesn't
Yeah.
have that same movement. And I think that could be a key factor in this fight. Do you see the same
I
thing?
mean, yeah, that could definitely happen because the trainer, you know what I mean? Depending on what the trainer got you working on. We don't know exactly what they're working on, but that could definitely happen, you know what I mean? Based off who you're working with and what he sees as important and what's not important. But, you know what I mean? It's just, if you think about it, it's just a heavy load, man, because Tank Davis is a dangerous fighter at the end of the
Right.
day.
Definitely, definitely. You know what, man? You know, I know you was watching all the festivities last night. Clarissa Shields and Alicia Baumgardner. You know, I just feel like me personally, I feel like the GOAT man is a level or two above her. If they was able to get in the ring, I don't want to see the GOAT come down to 147. I think she's just too big of a woman to come down to that weight class. But how do you see that playing out?
I Me honestly, I don't think they're gonna fight. If they was to fight, I feel like Bumgarner probably have 2 or 3 good rounds before it get bad for her. It'll
Right.
get real bad. Carissa Shill's too big, too strong, fast.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Very aggressive. She's not the biggest puncher, but she could definitely overwhelm you. You know what I'm saying? And I think that'll happen to a Bumgarner. I think she's too small.
I definitely think she's too small. I think that the weight difference and the skill set, period, would just be too much. You know what I'm saying? Clarissa Shields, man, is a really skillful fighter. And I hate that they even going through the situation they're going through. Now, my guy, BVO Boxing, continues to, you know, he's a Ryan Garcia fan. And I guess, but he wanted me to ask you who you got in that fight. I'm going to tell you off top, I believe Haney schools him. It's just my personal opinion. I think Haney has, you know, from the amateurs to now, Haney's a way different fighter. And I don't think Ryan Garcia has really gotten any better. You know, he might got a little better since the amateur. I ain't gonna say that, but I just don't think that he's really put his focus into boxing like he should. How do you see that playing out right
I
there?
mean, it's a really good fight because of the background, because of the story. I mean, they do know each other. They have been in the ring with each other. The thing is, like you said, Ryan Garcia hasn't been as focused and he hasn't evolved skill wise. Meanwhile, we've been watching Devin Haney get better every fight. We're watching him get better. We're watching him get stronger, going up to 140 pounds. So to be honest, I think the first 4 rounds would be really good rounds. If if uh if Ryan Garcia doesn't land a meaningful shot in the first 4 rounds, I feel like he's gonna get outboxed the rest of the fight and possibly get stopped in like the 10th or 11th round.
That and you know what? I'm saying the same thing, and I'm not even concerned with people say Devin don't got power. I just see Ryan just really having a breakdown in there if he starts getting really outboxed. You know,
Yeah,
I think that he's gonna have a breakdown. I see Devin Haney really outboxing him and stopping
yeah.
him.
I mean, but the problem is too, a lot of guys, they, they talk about these fighters like, that guy doesn't have any punching power and this and that. Listen, if anybody's been punched in the face, they tell you it don't feel good.
I don't.
And you take too many of them, that's all it takes to get you out of there. So, you know what I mean? Anybody can hurt you on any given night.
Definitely. You're definitely right about that. Anybody can be hurt. And, you know, if Devin Haney, to me, I think he wins this fight, and I think he wins it easily. What would you like to see next out of him if that's what happened?
I mean, I want to see these 140-pound champions get it in. I would like to see Dev and Subriel, or Dev and Cruz, or Dev and Tio.
Right. I want to see the Pitbull Cruz and you know what I'm saying, Cerebral Matilda fight. That's
Yeah.
a fight. I think that would be a great matchup style wise. You know, and I told somebody the other day I might even favor Pitbull in that fight, man. I think Pitbull is slept on, and I don't think people really know how good he is. But I want to see that fight. Do you think that would be a good
That'll
matchup?
be one of the best fights that we've seen in a long time,
Yeah.
simply because we talking about two guys who don't care to look pretty.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? They trying to go in there and hurt you, and somebody's definitely gonna get hurt. That would be a great fight. Great fight.
Yeah, a great fight. You know what? With Roland Romero, I used to say a long time ago that he was the worst champion. I felt like that he was the worst champion out of all the champions in boxing. You
Yeah.
know, and they're just being real. From what I've seen from him, and I think that they kind of. Do you feel like that they kind of pushed him along a little too fast because Tank was leaving? Floyd, and they wanted to get a fight in. Do you think that that's what hurt him?
Now I think what hurt him is the fact that he's really not a student of boxing. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
He's a guy who learned some moves. He learned that he can punch. He's strong, And the number one thing that he learned is how to promote himself. I feel like Rolly Romero was only in that seat because he's willing to talk to fighters crazy. You know what I mean? He's willing to
Yeah,
say shit out his mouth or do things that other people wouldn't do. And it was entertaining for a while. But as we all see, you know what I mean, he got to pay for it.
yeah.
And he paid for it bad.
Yeah, he definitely paid for it. And I told somebody he wouldn't be able to fight off his back foot. And I knew Pitbull, because Pitbull comes forward. He's gonna put the pressure on you. And if you're not able to see, that's the thing with Tank, like people are looking at saying, Tank got a lot of different styles and people don't pay attention. But I also say when people say Tank ain't fought nobody, you start to look at Pitbull and Mario Barrios, and those were really good fights. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? If you pay attention, those guys can really fight.
Yeah. I mean, what it tell you is those guys are strong spirited. You know what I mean? They're the type of guys that even though they lost to a Tank Davis, they understand that the road don't stop here. You know what I mean? I could still get back in the ranks and get some money and become champion. And both of them done that. So you definitely got to give Tank credit for that.
Definitely, definitely. With do you feel like PBC right now? You see Earl Spence then came back out. He's reappeared. You know what I'm saying? And it seems like to me PBC is kind of trying to, basically cut Terrence Crawford off from getting anything that he wants. Do you feel like that? Do you think that what's going on? Like they're trying to interfere and not let him get into the fights that he wants?
I mean, we gotta be all the way honest with this being an entertainment business, even though it is boxing, and we love Terrence Crawford, but Terrence Crawford was never the guy that was supposed to be a star. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
He wasn't supposed to be, but he is because of what he can do. But in boxing, you know what I mean? They find ways to flush you out. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like with him trying to get those other fights, it kind of really like dimmed his light because they knew he wasn't gonna get those other fights. You know what I'm saying?
right,
Now it's almost looking like, all right, well, what about the rematch? When really nobody wanted to see the rematch. So
right, right.
so it's like
I didn't want to see
tough.
it. I didn't want to see the rematch. I ain't gonna lie, and I'm an Earl Spence fan.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? But I didn't want to see the rematch. But I feel like that I don't want Earl. There's no reason for Earl to get in there with Fundor or Tim Zoo if we're not going to get a version of Earl that we think has the opportunity to win.
yeah,
And in the end, like I tell people all the time, I get tired of hearing this when they say a fighter isn't ready or this, and that. Well, let me see the fighter isn't ready. I'm talking about Jerron Boots Ennis. I think, man, like he's a special talent. I got him ranked high.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? He's one of my favorite fighters, and I get tired of people saying, well, he ain't ready for Bud. If he ain't ready, then let him get in the ring and let's prove that he's not ready.
yeah,
Let me see it. I think that's the problem today with boxing. In my time coming up, the best fought the best. I'm not used to this, or he ain't ready. And I hate the way they're doing Boots. And like I listen to a lot of stuff you say, like Boots, but you don't get into personal, or you don't ask him a lot of questions about boxing when y'all talk. So from the outside looking in, I'm gonna put it like that. What do you feel like the situation with Boots? Why do you think right now it's hard for him to get a fight?
I think I think for a lot of reasons. One reason is because of promotional issues. I think another reason is a lot of guys do understand when you fight a guy like Boots, you have to bring everything to the table. And some guys they don't want to do that. They want to get the easy fights. You know what I'm saying? And it's just this simple. If Boots isn't ready for Bud, then why is Frank Martin ready for Tank?
Right.
You know what I'm
That's
saying?
man.
So
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
that
That makes sense.
So that lets you know that, in boxing they basically pick what they want to happen. You know what I mean? They tell us a lot of lies about, oh, we might make this fight or this fight could possibly happen, but they already know who they want to put in the ring with each other. And the reason they don't want to give Boost that opportunity is because they just have other plans for other guys. Boots is to them not a marketable guy because he don't get on the computer and run his mouth. You know what I'm saying? He really just get ready. You know what I'm saying? And they looking for clowns now. They want people that gonna go out there
Right.
and show their ass, that's gonna tap dance, they gonna do whatever they gotta do to make some money instead of real fighters. And Boots is a real fighter. And honestly, that's why Terrence Bud Crawford is not that popular because he's a real fighter. You know what I mean? The real fighter's not getting no love right now. It's all about the clowns.
You're right. But I always say with me looking, just not knowing what Bud thoughts are, if I would think that with Bud knowing they done him like that, why do Boots like that? You see what I'm saying? Like, you know what Boo's going through. You've been put in that situation over and over and over again, and it took you forever to get those fights you want. You
Yeah,
know, Canelo's turned him down. It's looking like we don't know what's going to happen with the. They're saying that Bud has something coming up. What's the guy they saying he's going to fight? I think he's the champion at 154. Can't think of his name, but they're saying he's getting ready to fight somebody. Whether it's
yeah.
true or not, you know. But I just want to see that fight. I think that it's a fight where do you feel like the Bud's pricing himself out? Tim Zoo said Bud wanted 15 million, and that's why he kind of looked towards Earl Spence. Do you feel like the Bud now, holding resentment and asking for too much money?
I mean, I'm gonna say I think he is only because you wasn't making that kind of money before Earl
Right.
Spence. Now, here's the thing. Once you make some money like that, who wants to go backwards? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you get a raise at a job and you making whatever $50 an hour or whatever I don't know what they giving these people, but whatever
Yeah.
you make it now, right? You don't want to next year go down to $30 an hour and you was making 50. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? But the fights that you trying to make happen, they not happening. So sometimes you do have to take a pay cut, go back down, you know what I mean, and rumble. But you know what I mean, I think he is pricing himself out with certain situations. Now with Boots, I kind of understand because not only is that a big fight, it's a very challenging fight. You're gonna have to,
Yeah.
like I said, you're gonna have to bring everything to the table.
Yeah.
Everything.
Yeah. Everything. Do you think that he would take 10 million for a Booth fight?
I think if they did offer him 10 million plus like some pay-per-views or something, I think he would.
Right. Definitely, I think he would too. And I think Boots will be willing to take. I don't know, but I think Boots just to have the opportunity. He wouldn't 2 to 3 million. Boots probably would, what I'm saying, accept that just to have the
Yeah,
opportunity to get in there with Bulls and have an opportunity to be, champion or
for
whatever.
sure. For
You know what
sure.
I'm saying? And one thing I want to ask you because I've heard everybody say it. Tim Zoo, what in that situation do you feel like his corner failed him?
I can listen. I can say that. I can say that, but to be really honest, anybody that's a real fighter, they're not gonna want you to stop it. You know what I'm saying? And the reason I'm saying that is because look how easy he was hitting Fundora
Yeah,
early in the fight. He was landing his shots pretty easy. So I figured in Tim Zoo's mind, he probably say, you know what, I'm gonna knock him out probably in the fifth or sixth round anyway.
yeah,
Let us come on, just let me fight. You know what I'm saying? I can't say the corner really failed him, man. And then 4 rounds went past really fast. He got cut like in the second or the third, and the next thing you know,
second.
we right past the fourth. So at that point, they was taking a gamble anyway. So why not let him go ahead and rumble? You know what I mean?
Right.
Now, if he was showing signs of like fatigue and get ready to faint and pass out, and they still let him go back out there, yeah, I would say they failed him. But at the end of the day, you know what I mean? This is what fighters are. You know what I mean? Real fighters, they gonna go in there and bleed. They gonna go in there and
Hello,
take a shot. You know what I'm saying?
Moto.
That and everybody else might say, "Oh, that was a crazy punch. I wouldn't let nobody hit me like that." You know what I mean? This is what fighters do. We fight through it. So I can't really blame the corner.
Right. But they always say is there's a corner's job to protect the
Yeah,
fighter, and we know as fighters that you're gonna say, man, I can go. So I was looking at it on this like a lot of people saying. I heard Robert Garcia saying that he would have stopped it in a second and let Tim Tszyu go home champion and get another opportunity. We'll fight again. You know what I'm saying? Live to see another day. So that's what I was looking at. I just feel like, man, that was a terrible cut.
no, it was a triple cut. But here's the thing that we know. You know what I mean? This just from growing up. Everybody gonna say what they would do
Yeah.
until they in that situation.
You're right, right. You're right about that.
Everybody
And
say that.
until it happens, you don't really know. You know what I'm saying? You really don't know what you're gonna do, and you're exactly right about that. A fight, you know what I'm saying, coming up. Because I do a lot of man. I mess with FanDuel. I bet on a lot of fights.
Hmm.
We got Tyson Fury was the favorite for a long time. Now with the fight with Francis Ngannou, it seems like now he's the underdog. I still believe that he has the opportunity to win this fight. How do you feel? What do you think is gonna happen in that situation? Do you think Tyson Fury still has the upper hand, or you think that he might be on the last leg?
I mean, here's the thing. Here's the thing with Tyson Fury. He's a guy that's been around the world boxing since an amateur. He's done a lot of boxing. You have to excite him in order for him to be his best. What I mean by that is when he fought Ngannou, he didn't respect Ngannou, so we got a half-ass Tyson Fury. But
Right.
now we got Tyson Fury fighting Usyk. He respects Usyk. You know what I'm saying? He know that Usyk can fight. He knows that Usyk is fast. You know what I mean? He's awkward, and he's tough. He knows that. So Tyson Fury is going to train. Probably going to be one of his best camps. You know what I'm
I
saying?
do.
Getting ready for Usyk, and especially after the extension. You know what I mean? He
Yeah.
got a chance to get in better shape. You know what I mean? So I can see Tyson Fury still going in there and being dominant versus Usyk.
Yeah, I think Tyson Fury, man. I'm gonna tell you something else though with Francis that I paid attention to. Tyson Fury is used to being the bigger man, the stronger man, and able to lean his weight on you. And I could see at times when he wasn't able to wrestle with Francis and do all the things that he done against Wilder. I
Mm-hmm.
think against Usyk he'll be able to do all those
Mm-hmm.
things. You know what I'm saying? Do you
But
think there's gonna be a difference of him being able to wear Usyk down?
I think he's definitely going to wear Usyk down, but I think what he's going to do is make Usyk use his ability more than he planned on using it. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Even though Usyk like to use his legs, Usyk's still getting older. He's still an older man, and so is Tyson Fury. But they're not old men; like they're not done. But I'm gonna make you use your legs more than you want. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna make you be on defense more than you used to being on defense. I think his size and his skill set just put you in a bad place. You know what I mean? Because like we said, even seeing him on a bad night, he still get the win. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Even on his bad nights. So when he's 100%, he's very dangerous. And I think he's just gonna be too much for Usyk.
Right, I do too, man. Before I let you get out of it, let me ask you, Shakur Stevenson.
Mm-hmm.
You know, okay, what's the guy Robert Garcia trains with? How you pronounce his last name? I seen him
Muratalo.
fight. Yeah, my Tyler. Yeah, he. So it's looking like that he don't. He's like basically, I ain't gonna say ducking, but he's not really interested in that fight.
Yeah.
What do you think is going on with Shakur?
I think it has to do again with the promotion. we the cross promotion things happen, but they're not always interested because it's so much you got to argue about. It's so much you got to go back and forth and negotiate. When you have a guy that's in your stable, as far as promotion companies, it's easier to make the fight. I think Shakur is getting pissed off about you know other fighters' fame and shit like that, and he want that spot. He want to be the number one guy, and there's nothing wrong with that because you should want to be the number one guy. But you also should understand I got to just beat whoever it is they can put in front of me because I can't get those guys just yet. So I think he's
Right.
just a little frustrated because he can't get those certain fights that he wants.
And I agree with you on that. But do you think there's ever a time that before it's all said and done, did you take Tank, T.O., Devin, and Shakur, did they all face each other, or do
I
you see that
I
happen?
think at one point we will get those fights. You know what I mean? The thing is though, they trying to make these dudes appear to be larger than life. So that's why all the pussyfooting. You know what I mean? You got all
Yeah.
the guys they dancing around each other because everybody trying to build this name like they the greatest of all time when really y'all beating B class fighters. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And y'all
Yeah.
supposed to be the A class fighters. So we should be able to see y'all. I think I think that all that to start the end of this year or the middle of next year. I think we'll start getting them type of guys
Right.
in the ring with each other.
You know what I'm saying? Because Tank definitely, he's the older of the guys. Just being real, he's on borrowed time. He's almost 30 years old, if not 30. He has to start taking some of these fights.
Yeah, yeah.
You know
I
what I'm
mean,
saying?
Tank thing is he's the puncher. I mean, he got the fame and all of that, and that's cool. But what happens is these guys don't care about legacy; they care about the money. So if I can fight Joe Blow and still make 10, $20 million, then I'll do that. I'm not gonna fight Devin Haney for 20, 30 million and then possibly give up my O. You know what I mean? All of these guys, they have dreams of being perfect, but what they don't know about the real world is nothing is perfect. You know what I mean? Nothing is promised. So you got to just go in there and make it happen.
Right, man. I'm gonna live. Hey, Greg, it's always a pleasure to talk to you.
For sure.
Listen, man, you need to bring me one time, man. I need to come on GHB TV, man. This is the most popular live on, boxing channel on YouTube, man. I stay on there watching you.
Appreciate you. I
Man,
got you.
Yeah, I already know you do, man. Have a blessed day, man, and thank you, man. It's always an honor. And I feel like, man, when it comes to boxing, man, you one of the best out there. Keep doing your thing, brother.
All right, thank you. I appreciate you and keep pushing.
All right, bro. I will.
My
All right,
man.
man. Hope everybody enjoyed this live, man. Thank y'all once again for tuning in. Everybody have a blessed day.